So Joey Bradfish is in the studio. Joey works like mostly behind the scenes, right? You got the behind the scenes podcast and all that stuff.
Yes, it's funny you bring that up because that's what this is about. About an hour and a half ago, we had someone on the air, and I think we should just play the clip first, and then we'll dissect the whole thing. Clip is up in yellow.
Chris, let me ask you this. So you are a fan of wrestling. You have your own podcast. I want you to do me a favor and search for a TV show called The Secret World of Professional Wrestling. I'm featured in that episode. I went undercover in wrestling school, and I would love to be a guest on your wrestling podcast.
You know how much I've been trying to get you to be involved in the podcast, which is about you?
You haven't said anything to me about this podcast.
Oh, my God. I've asked you so many times, hey, what do you think of the podcast? What do you think? Like, Grant and I have been working tirelessly.
I can't find it. You sent out
It's
for a
the
month.
easiest thing to find.
Episode 2, you sent out a link. I clicked on it, and I said, I can't. Nothing opens.
And you give up after that?
I was driving. I had to focus on the road. People's
And
lives.
when you got to your destination?
The only time I asked you to promote it, which you did promote it, but I had to ask you, you said, oh, you want me to get up from my wheelchair and find my phone?
I was hurting from my oblique. I'm home from work. I'm sitting there. I was about to say home from school. I'm home from school. I'm in massive pain, bleeding from the inside. Joey says, can you promote my podcast? Yeah, and then up here, it's written up here, but I don't even know how to do that. Well, explain this to me. So what do I do for the podcast? You want people to listen to it. You got to text the word
It's
what?
not even up there.
It is too on the left.
It's just a tiny little corner.
Yeah, you
That's a
can't
bone
even
to pick
see
with
it.
Bill.
It says BTS podcast. So they have to text that whole thing.
They have to text BTS to 96893.
That's it.
couldn't
Not
be
podcast.
easier.
Not
And
podcast.
I've heard from feedback on Twitter, people are something about Pope of Dogs. Did you
Pope
talk-
of Dogs, yes, I made an analogy last week about you being the Pope of Dogs, and people are latching on to that.
Good, I like it. I want to hear you. How long is your podcast?
It depends. Sometimes it's 25 minutes. Sometimes it's 60 minutes. It could be anything.
Have you heard
know,
it, Rich?
I have.
I have heard it as well. If you really wanted to hear it, you would have heard it already.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I've been injured, Kyle. I trust
They're really
Joey.
excited about this, and people are buzzing.
It's Joey,
there's
not
a buzz.
Joy.
Right.
Yeah,
Podcast
we gotta
with
work out
Joey and
open door
Grant.
policy.
Maybe
All
we
right,
have
Joey.
like a sliding door policy where it's open just a little bit anyway, but like a closing.
Every Friday you do the podcast?
Every Friday we do the podcast. Hashtag JJRBTS. Please tune in. We'll wrap up the week for you.
I'll listen. I'm going to go listen to it as soon as the show's over.
Hashtag
bet you
Joey
will.
and Grant forever.